Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Happy Home Podcast. I'm James.
And I'm Emma, ready to explore some hobbies.
I am.
Awesome, I am too. We've got some seriously cool articles and research lined up for you all today. You know, it's fascinating because we always think of hobbies as just fun, like a way to chill. But there's a whole other side to it, like they can actually change your brain, and I mean literally rewire it.
Yeah, and it's funny because people don't always think about, the science behind all the fun they're having. It's not just like a feeling. It's like actual neurological changes. It's pretty wild.
Okay, wait, hold on. So you're telling me there's actual science behind having fun? Like, I gotta hear this. What's the deal?
So think about when you're totally lost in your hobby.
Yeah.
You know, time just flies by. You're laser focused. Researchers, they call this like a flow state. And get this, studies show it can trigger this surge of dopamine.
Dopamine, isn't that the, motivation and reward chemical?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's the feel-good neurotransmitter.
So it's like our brain is giving us a high five for doing what we love,
Yeah.
but how does that translate to real life stuff, like actual benefits?
Well, increased dopamine, can lead to better focus, become more creative, more productive.
Yeah.
And get this, one study from the University of Chicago found that if you experience that flow state a lot, it can actually change the structure of your brain, especially in the parts that control, like learning and memory.
Wow, so it's not just a temporary thing, it's really making our brains better. Okay, that's pretty cool, but come on, there's gotta be more to hobbies than just brain stuff, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. Hobbies are like this incredible tool for self-discovery. You get this safe space to try out different parts of yourself, without anyone judging you or expecting anything.
It's like a playground for your personality, but how does that lead to self-discovery?
Okay, well, think about it. When you're doing your hobby, you're learning, overcoming challenges, you're constantly expanding what you know and what you can do. And that process can reveal stuff about you, like hidden talents, passions, stuff you never realized you had.
Oh, totally get that. I never thought I'd be a coding person, until I found this free online course. And now, in my free time, I build websites. It's wild how hobbies can unlock that stuff.
Exactly. And there's science behind this too.
Sure.
A study, I think it was in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, found that if you do stuff that lines up with your values, it boosts your self-esteem. Like your whole well-being gets a boost.
So our hobbies are kind of like a mirror to our insides. And by nurturing them, we're actually nurturing ourselves. That's deep, man. Okay, but let's be real. We're all busy. How do we even find the time for hobbies?
That's true. That's true. It's tough. But think about it this way. Maybe instead of finding time, think about fitting it in. Like weaving your hobby into what you're already doing.
Oh, okay. So instead of blocking out hours, we sneak it into those little breaks we have throughout the day.
Bingo. Imagine listening to a podcast about your hobby while you commute. Or, strumming your guitar while dinner's cooking. It's about being intentional, squeezing the most out of the time you've got.
I like that. It's a whole different way to think about it. Hobbies aren't separate from our lives. They're part of it.
Exactly. And even small chunks of time can make a difference, for your overall happiness, your well-being.
So we're officially giving everyone permission to stop feeling guilty about not having hours to spare, right? Even a few minutes is a win.
Absolutely.
Speaking of wins, you've got some research on folks who've turned their hobbies into actual businesses, making money doing what they love. I'm dying to hear about that.
It's crazy, right? More and more people are realizing that their passions can be their paychecks.
So break it down for us. How are people making this happen?
The internet, man. It's a game changer. Marketplaces like Etsy, they've made it so easy for people to sell handmade stuff. And then you've got platforms like YouTube and Twitch, where gamers, musicians, artists, they can share their talents, build a following.
It's like this massive online marketplace where passion meets opportunity. But okay, spill the tea. There's got to be some downsides, right? What are the challenges people face when they try to make money from their hobbies?
The big one. Staying true to your passion while also, meeting what the market wants, what people will actually buy. It's easy to get caught up in trends or trying to please everyone, but that leads to burnout. And then your work loses its soul, It's not authentic anymore.
So it's about finding that balance where your love for it meets what people are looking for. But how do you even know if your hobby could be a business?
Market research, my friend. You got to know your audience, what they need, what they'll pay for before you jump in head first. There's tons of stuff online to help you figure that out.
Makes sense. But what about the business side of things? A lot of people are super talented, but they don't know how to run a business.
Oh, totally. And that's where learning comes in. There are online courses, workshops, mentorships, all designed for like creative entrepreneurs. They teach you marketing, finance, customer service, all that jazz.
So it's about giving yourself the tools you need to, navigate the business world while still holding on to your creative spark.
Exactly. And let's not forget about building an online presence. Social media can make or break you these days.
Okay, hold that thought. That's where we'll pick up in the next part of this deep dive. We'll get into all the nitty-gritty of social media, how to use it to turn your hobby into a real online biz. But before we do, I want to touch on something important.
Go for it.
We've been talking a lot about making money from hobbies, but I think it's key to remember, not every hobby needs to be a side hustle. The real magic is in the joy it brings you, whether it makes money or not.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. The joy, the fun, this should always come first.
Exactly. So whether you're a hardcore hobbyist or just starting out, remember to cherish that. The joy, the creativity, the way it helps you grow, that's the real gold.
Totally agree.
Back again for more deep dive fun. Last time, we got into all the cool ways hobbies can, mess with our brains in a good way and how some people even make bank from their passions. But this time, I want to dive into, creative hobbies specifically, because there's something special about those, right?
Oh, for sure. Creative hobbies, they're like a direct line to expressing yourself, processing your emotions. It's deeper than just making something pretty.
So it's like art therapy, but DIY. Count me in. No, but seriously, I'm curious. You mentioned some research about the actual therapeutic effects of being creative. What's the science say?
Well, there's a ton of research coming out now showing that doing creative stuff can, lower stress, boost your mood, even improve your self-esteem. There was this one study, I think it was in the Journal of Positive Psychology, where people did creative activities for 45 minutes a day. And guess what? They were way happier and more chill compared to those who didn't.
Wait, 45 minutes? That's less time than I spend doom scrolling. But why does that work? What's going on in our brains?
So remember that dopamine rush we talked about? The feel-good chemical. Well, when we get creative, our brains release that. But it's more than just that. Creative activities help us process feelings, make sense of what we're going through.
Oh, I see. It's like we're giving our emotions a physical form. Through art, music, writing, whatever. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, but for someone who isn't an artist, where do you even start?
You don't need to be Picasso to benefit, The important thing is finding something you enjoy, something that lets you express yourself freely. Could be journaling, doodling, playing an instrument, pottery, anything.
So finding that thing that makes you lose yourself in the process, the outcome doesn't even matter that much.
Exactly. And you'd be surprised what comes out when you just let go and create. No judgment, no expectations.
Speaking of letting go, you're a big journaling fan, right?
Yeah.
What is it about journaling that you find so helpful?
It's like having a conversation with myself, but on paper. Helps me work through thoughts and feelings, figure out tough situations, and track my growth over time.
A personal therapist that fits in your bag, love it. But what about people who are more visual? Any suggestions for them?
Visual arts are amazing for that. Painting, drawing, photography, they give you a way to show emotions that are hard to put into words.
It's like translating your inner world into colors and shapes and textures, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's the act of creating that counts.
Totally. Process over product, always. And even if you don't think you're artistic, there are so many ways to play with visual art. Adult coloring books, abstract painting, even collaging,
Those are awesome ideas. What about music? What role does music play in all of this well-being stuff?
Music is this universal language, right? It speaks directly to our emotions. Whether you're jamming to your faves, learning an instrument, or just belting it out in the shower, music has this powerful effect on us.
Oh, I feel that. Music can instantly change my mood. If I need energy or just some chill vibes. Is there science behind that too?
There's a whole field called music therapy, actually. Studies show that music can reduce stress, help you sleep better, even ease pain.
Wow, sonic medicine. That's wild. Okay, but real talk, in this digital age, it's so easy to just zone out with Netflix or endlessly scroll. How do we, break free and actually do creative stuff?
It's a struggle for sure. But the key is to be intentional, to make time for it. Schedule it in, even if it's just 30 minutes a day.
Treat it like an important meeting with yourself. And yeah, maybe put the phone away, create a little tech-free zone for your hobby.
Yes, a no-phone zone. Love that. And don't be afraid to try different things till you find what clicks,
It's about finding that sweet spot where passion meets creativity. And hey, You don't have to go it alone. Join a group, take a class, find other hobby peeps online. There's a whole community out there waiting for you.
And don't be shy about sharing your work. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just put it out there. You might be surprised by the positive vibes and support you get.
That's a great reminder. Sharing can be scary, but it can also be super rewarding and help you connect with others. Okay, so we've talked about how creative hobbies benefit us individually, but I'm wondering, do they have a bigger impact, like on society as a whole?
That's a great question. When people do creative things, it creates this culture of innovation, self-expression, empathy. It encourages critical thinking, problem solving, a deeper understanding of being human.
So creative hobbies are kind of like the secret ingredient for a more compassionate and imaginative society.
I like that. And in a world that feels so tech-driven, so focused on instant gratification, creative hobbies offer something different, something real. They remind us that it's okay to slow down, use our hands and minds to create something tangible, something that matters.
They remind us that we're not just consumers, we're creators, makers, artists. That's powerful stuff. Okay, let's switch gears a bit and talk about how technology is shaking up the hobby world. We've seen this explosion of online communities, digital tools, virtual experiences, all related to hobbies. What's your take on that?
Tech has totally revolutionized how we do hobbies. It's opened up so many possibilities for learning, connecting, exploring creatively.
Okay, give us the rundown. What are the good things tech brings to hobbies?
Well, it's never been easier to find info and resources for your hobby. We have a universe of knowledge right there in our pockets, Online tutorials, workshops, virtual museums, libraries, you name it.
Like having a personal hobby guru on speed dial?
Exactly. And then you've got online communities, places like Instagram, Facebook, Reddit. They've become like virtual clubhouses for hobbyists. You can connect with people who are into the same stuff, share your work, get support, get inspired.
It's like having a global network of creative buddies all on your phone.
And tech has also created completely new types of hobbies. Virtual reality gaming, 3D printing, digital art. It's blurring the lines between the physical and digital world.
It's like stepping into a whole new dimension of possibilities. Okay, but let's be real. There have got to be some downsides to tech's influence on hobbies, right?
Definitely. One thing is the distraction factor, information overload. With so much stuff online, it's easy to get sidetracked, jump between projects, and lose sight of what you really love.
It's like being at an all-you-can-eat buffet of creative options, and we end up overstuffed but not really satisfied.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And then there's the comparison game, especially on social media. Seeing everyone's highlight reels can make you feel like you're not good enough, not progressing fast enough.
It's crucial to remember that social media isn't real life. Everyone's creative journey is unique, You go at your own pace.
Absolutely. The key is to use tech as a tool for inspiration and connection, but to also stay balanced and true to your own creative vision.
Use it wisely. Don't let it use you. That's solid advice. Okay, let's look ahead now. What's on the horizon for hobbies? Any cool trends emerging? How do you see the whole hobby scene evolving?
Ooh, fun question. I think we're going to see even more personalization, community focus, and tech integration in the hobby world.
Break it down for us. What do you mean by personalization when it comes to hobbies?
People are looking for hobbies that fit their values, their interests, their lifestyle. They want something unique, meaningful, tailored to them.
So moving away from the one-size-fits-all approach and embracing the uniqueness of what we love?
Exactly. We'll see more niche hobbies, more customized experiences, a bigger focus on personal growth through hobbies.
The hobby world is becoming a reflection of our own unique selves. I dig that.
And community is going to be huge. People crave connection, belonging, shared experiences, now more than ever.
So how will that play out in the hobby world?
We'll see more online communities, virtual workshops, hybrid events that blend online and offline experiences. People want to connect with others who get them, share their passions, learn from each other.
It's like the idea of community is evolving to include both physical and virtual spaces.
And tech, of course, is going to keep shaping how we do hobbies, creating new ways to learn, connect, be creative. We'll see crazy advancements in VR, AR, AI, all transforming the hobby experience in ways we can't even imagine yet.
Sounds like we're on the verge of a hobby revolution.
It really does. The future of hobbies is super bright, full of opportunities for personal growth, connection, creative exploration.
Now that's an inspiring vision for the future of hobbies. I'm excited to see where it all goes.
Me too. It's a great time to be a hobby nerd.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the therapeutic power of creative hobbies and how the whole hobby scene is changing. But hold on, there's more. We'll be back for one last part to tie it all together and leave you with some food for thought.
Can't wait to share some final thoughts and nuggets of wisdom with you all.
Until then, keep exploring, keep creating, keep nurturing those passions that make you, you.
See you soon for the grand finale of our hobby adventure.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've journeyed through the science of hobbies, explored the creative side, and even peeked into the world of hobby-based businesses. Now, as we wrap up, let's highlight some key takeaways, maybe spark some new ideas for you all.
It's been quite the adventure, right? We've uncovered so much about hobbies, how they impact our well-being, boost creativity, and can even become career paths we never expected.
What really stood out to me is how hobbies are way more than just something to do in your free time. They're like powerful tools for personal growth, self-discovery, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. They're like this awesome space to explore, to experiment. You tap into your curiosity, learn new things, and uncover talents and passions you didn't even know you had.
And it goes beyond just us as individuals, right? We saw how hobbies can create community connections both online and in the real world.
Totally. Hobbies are like these bridges that connect people with shared interests. It doesn't matter where you're from, what your background is. Online forums, local clubs, workshops, they all give you a chance to meet like-minded people, share what you know, and get inspired.
Speaking of inspiration, we heard some amazing stories about people turning their hobbies into businesses. Any advice for someone who's thinking about taking that leap?
Don't let fear stop you. Starting a business can seem scary, but it's so rewarding. Start by figuring out who your audience is, what your competition looks like, and put together a solid plan.
Sounds like a great foundation. But what if you don't have, the business know-how?
No worries, there are tons of resources to help you with that. Online courses, workshops, mentorship programs, even local business centers. Reach out to people who've been there, done that. They can give you valuable insights and support.
So it's all about giving yourself the tools to navigate the business side of things while still holding on to the heart of your creative passion.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of social media these days.
True, true. Social media can be a game changer for anyone trying to build a hobby-based business.
Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, they're like gold mines for reaching people. You can showcase your work, connect with potential customers, even score some cool collaborations.
It's like having a global storefront right in your pocket. But it's more than just selling, right? It's about building a community around what you love, sharing your unique story.
100%. Authenticity is everything on social media. Be yourself, share your journey, connect with people on a real level. People can spot passion and realness a mile away. That's what makes you stand out.
And it's a marathon, not a sprint. Building a successful business takes time, effort, and a whole lot of hustle. Don't get discouraged if it doesn't happen overnight. Just keep learning, keep creating, keep putting yourself out there.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Enjoy the process. That's what it's all about.
Now, before we sign off, I want to bring it back to something we talked about earlier. Not every hobby has to become a side hustle or a full-blown business. The real magic is in the joy it brings, regardless of money.
Yes. Find hobbies that light you up, that make you feel alive and engaged. Painting, gardening, playing music, collecting stamps, whatever it is, embrace those things that bring you joy.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the amazing world of hobbies, we'll leave you with this. What's a hobby you've always been curious about but haven't tried yet? What's holding you back?
The world of hobbies is vast and welcoming. There's something out there for everyone, no matter what you're into, what skills you have, or what your experience level is.
So go explore, find your passions, and experience the joy and fulfillment that hobbies can bring.
And that's a wrap from us. Thanks for joining us on this hobby adventure.
Until next time, happy hobbying, everyone.